What was it like to be with Liver King when he was blowing up, and then now looking at him, he has gone off the rails, man. Like I feel
I
bad
know.
for him. Something's going on with his head.
I know. So, my wife and I, we lived in Wilmington, North Carolina in 2020, 2021. Beautiful there. One of our favorite places in the world. And, I got a job at Ancestral Supplements of, January of 2022. We moved to Texas, which is where they're located. And, I started working for Ancestral Supplements for like 30 days. And then, okay, he saw like how, like my background in podcasting I was working for a top podcast at the time. And he saw that. So he's like, hey, join my team. It was me and three other guys. There's four of us guys. And then he had a team of, videographers, editors, and all that sort of stuff. And this is right at the time he might have had like 30K followers, like nothing crazy. And then it was like right when we joined, he blew up, obviously. And so all of 2022 was like his year to like, it was going crazy. All the podcasts, like impulsive podcast, he was flying all over to Dubai, doing everything. And so that was just a whirlwind of everything. So I was really helping him get on podcast. I was helping him travel. I was helping him with his social media. And I was at a lot of his filming events at his house, at his ranch. So I got to know him like really well. Like I'd spend a lot of time with him there. Like we moved there for that, well, for Ancestral Supplements. And then it was in October or November of 2022. I transitioned back to Ancestral Supplements and became their head of education. So more or less a face of their brand, just putting out a ton of social media content. And then consequently, not because of it, but consequently, that was kind of when the steroid thing came to light, I think in December of 2022. And so it was just like weird timing on my part to shift back to Ancestral Supplements. And then I did a lot of the social media work there. I started the YouTube channel for them and started putting out content and podcasts, interviewing guests. And then it was just last September, right when I got back from paternity leave. We made the decision I'm going to go full time with this creator influencer thing, and that's what my wife and I are doing full time. So I'm doing this, and it's just been a progression ever since. So it's
Mhm.
just been really cool.
What is your take on how he was eating, like the diet that he was pushing at the time?
Yeah, and the crazy thing is, and he even said this on podcast, but like a lot of it, like he followed it exactly like what social media shows. And I touched on this earlier, how there needs to be a level of entertainment, but he lives that lifestyle behind the scenes. Like he does that, like he eats that food. But you need to put on a level of entertainment to make things blow up on social media to a certain extent. Like, doesn't mean, like you need to be like, fake or inauthentic. It's just like you need to have a level of entertainment for people to watch. And so that's what he leaned into heavily. And that was strategic. But like that doesn't mean he didn't do it behind the scenes. Like he actually ate that stuff and he lived the lifestyle. So he was really authentic. He just like put on this like big entertainment front to really blow up, and it worked, of course. And I was helping him with that on social media and getting on podcasts. But as far as his diet goes, like I think people labeled him as like a strict carnivore. He ate potatoes. He would eat some vegetables. He ate a lot of fruit at times, dairy. Like he wasn't a strict carnivore, but he ate a lot of different foods. And so, yeah, I mean, I definitely leaned heavily into that, and that helped my animal based journey. And I definitely was probably the healthiest I've ever been when working at that point in time in my life. Like when you're surrounded by people that are working out and just eating a good diet, like healthy, like, like local foods, good protein, and you're just surrounded by that community once again, like we were talking about. Yeah, I was like at the healthiest point I've probably ever been, like most amount of muscle. So that was really cool,
Mhm.
to do that. So yeah, behind the scenes, like it was legit.
What
And
about the
I
raw aspect of it?
so the raw aspect is interesting. I put out a YouTube video probably last year. It might be going on 2 years ago at this point, talking about Weston A. Beliefs and what he found traveling the world back in the 1920s, I believe. There was always like 10 or 11 principles that hunter gatherers or more primitive culture tribes followed. And a part of what they always followed, humans have always followed, is eating a portion of their diet raw. And so that doesn't mean always eating raw meat. That doesn't always mean eating like raw dairy or raw vegetables. So I think eating a lot of raw foods can be a problem because it's not pre-digested, getting into the scientific aspect of it. One, I think most people see that as gross, like raw meat, like eating raw testicles, raw, when you cook a steak, like that tastes really good. Like it just like pre-cooks it for you. Like there's a reason that cooked beef tastes better than uncooked beef. And so I do think there's a benefit of consuming some portion of our foods raw. I think there's a benefit of consuming some portions of our food fermented. I think there's a benefit of cooking some of our foods, but leaning too far in one direction, I think can pose problems. And I think, again, going back to the entertainment, I think probably eating raw foods just performed really well on social media.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Yeah, I remember that time when he started blowing up, and then you'd get all the other social media feeds of like people just like, this is dinner, and they'd open like a package of raw ground beef, just plop it on their
yeah,
plate, and they just start eating it out of the square. Those were wild times, man. Those were fun.
yeah.